And it's fun for me to be around people coming up in the business. I know what it takes to want to ride bucking horses, and it's not common. I mean, you kids are special. It's scary to ride bucking horses, and you have the risk of injury and all the reasons that people don't ride bucking horses. And it's that small percentage of people that they feel that but do it anyway. You know, there's that in them that wants to be great. And that's what brings you to a school like this, because you just want to, you don't want to be like everybody else. You want to be something great. I remember my wife and I just went on vacation, and I had a chance to memorize something that means a lot to me about this spirit of wanting to be different than everybody else. And so I'll see if I can still remember it. But it says, "I do not want to be a common man. It is my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I don't want to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk. I want to dream, to build, and to fail and to succeed. It's my heritage to think and act for myself and enjoy the benefits of my creations. And so I can face the world boldly and say, this I have done."
Wow, that's awesome.
So I see all of you as being uncommon people. You paid. Now we rose the price. I mean, I want our instructors to get paid for their time, because these are special guys with incredible skill sets and the right mentality. I know you probably have an idea, but I don't think you really realize how lucky you are to be in the presence of these Bronc Riders that happen to be here right now. These are the best guys in the world at this sport. And just in life, right? The mentality it takes to rise to this level and overcome what everybody at this level has overcome. Just hanging out with them would be worth $1,000, not even getting on bucking horses and taking instruction. Because who you hang out with is who you become. The old saying is, you know, you become an average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. And I think that's really true. And you choose to get yourself in this situation. It says a lot about you, so I'm just giving you my respect. And just suck it in. Listen to everything these guys say and watch the way they walk, act, talk, think. Because this sport is extremely mental. And if you're honest with yourself, and if you are determined to become what you in your mind visualize you can become, that will happen. One of the things I love about this sport is that you don't have to be a Michael Jordan and have, you know, an incredible vertical jump or something. You see guys that are great Bronc Riders that aren't super physical. I remember when I met Ty Murray a year ago, and he was really good friends with Tuff Hedeman. You probably don't know who he is. And he said Tuff Hedeman is the most uncoordinated guy he's ever seen. He said they would go play racquetball back in the day. They were traveling together. And he said he's tripping and falling, and he's just completely uncoordinated. But he just is so tough the way he rides bulls. You know, athletically it shouldn't happen, but it just happens because he wills it to happen. So I think this is a sport where it's just more mental than physical, maybe in a greater extent than other sports that I'm aware of. So getting around the right people, reading the right things, getting yourself in a position like this to be in these environments is what will separate you from everybody else. And then you literally can accomplish anything you want in this sport. And then be honest, as you watch your film, when you start getting on horses, it's okay when you mess something up, and don't be embarrassed, you know, if you didn't like the way that you rode or your effort or whatever. Just be honest. I think most people in life, my wife and I had this discussion this morning. I think most people in life limit themselves because they decide to create narratives that make them feel comfortable. And nothing grows in the comfort zone. You've got to be willing to tell the truth and then change. But if you tell a story, then you won't change. You just stick to your story, right? Anthony Robbins, you might have heard of him as a motivational speaker, but his famous saying is, failure plus a good story does not equal success. But a lot of people think it does, right?
Yeah.
They tell you all the reasons why it didn't happen for them.
Yeah.
And then they're stuck there. They have to sit in that. But if you can look in the mirror and be honest and say, okay, it's okay. Everybody here, all these great Bronc Riders that are here today instructing you, they've all messed them up. They've all been on their head. They've all had moments where they felt like they couldn't write anything, you know, but they were honest. They looked in the mirror and were honest. So here's what I'm going to end with. This is something I learned. I don't even know who the author was, but it was on a wall somewhere, and I wrote it down and memorized it because I didn't want to make excuses for my life. It says, any excuse for non-performance, however valid, softens the character. It works as a sedative against one's own conscience. When a man makes an excuse, he attempts to convince both himself and others that unsatisfactory is somehow acceptable. He is perhaps unconsciously diverting attention from performance, the only thing that counts, to his own want for sympathy. The user is dishonest with himself as well as with others.
Wow. That's the truth.
So just don't make excuses, tell the truth. Now, rodeo for me is a passion. It's never been my living. These guys I respect so much that make a living being great at this business. I've been blessed materially from building businesses, but it's the same idea of having a vision, and I relate to wanting to believe but not really believing until little things give you enough faith to keep going until you get there where you never thought you could be, you know. I'm sure that's what you're thinking about going to NFR, thinking about being a world champion, thinking about something great. You know, you want it, there's times when you doubt it, and you just keep fighting for that faith enough to keep going. But it's the mental disciplines, and it's the process. It's every day rehearsing whatever your goals are, right? It's reading the right stuff so you learn to think differently than other people. And you fight for your dream, and you keep it alive when it's hard. And then you'll get that little glimmer of hope that gives you a little more faith, that keeps you fighting. You just keep doing that, and one day you'll be where you only dream you can be right now. You know, last year I made $5 million, and I'm not saying I'm a great guy because I made $5 million, but there was a point in time where that was not feasible in my mind.
Yeah, that's
you know, and so it's been one step at a time. You know, I remember sitting in the seat thinking, I want to be great at business so bad, but not knowing if I really believed I could.
Yeah.
But just working my ass off, and then there would be little glimmers of light. Okay, that gives me a little more faith, and just keep fighting and working through those days when it's hard, and then that gives me a little more faith, you know. And then now I just feel like at this point in my life, I've got enough behind me where I want to lend faith for anybody that needs some on your track. And I'm grateful for my alignment with Lefty and Dawson and this endeavor, and Meng and Joe and all these people that are in my life. I just feel blessed to be here, and I'll do everything I can to encourage and inspire and create opportunity. And let's do something great here, guys.
Yeah.
Let's be a part of all this together, okay?
Let's be different.
Thanks for giving us the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for being different than everybody else.
Awesome,
Thanks,
George.
buddy.
Wow. I want to watch that again.
Make a copy and send it out.
It's not going to be easy, I promise.
He's 100% right. Especially in rodeo, you're going to run into a lot of people that make a lot of excuses. And
You're going to get knocked down, and you're going to feel, sometimes you're going to feel that, but you know, you're going to walk, we've all been there, every Bronc Rider, you walked out of the arena embarrassed, you walked out of there.
And the only thing you want to hear is someone say that your horse sucked,
Yep.
not you sucked,
You got
because
screwed.
you got screwed.
And there's a lot of guys that do that, and it's easy.
Jake Finley, the guy that's been helping out today, he was one of the first guys I ever went to a pro rodeo with. And the reason I rodeoed with Jake is I'd honestly never been in with anyone like that who was, you'd screw up and you'd be expecting Jake or one of your traveling partners to tell you, oh, that horse sucked, or you rode fine, but that was just a bad day. And he'd straight up tell you that that was all your fault.
Yeah.
They've won on that horse before. Why can't you?
Yeah, that ain't no shit, really.
If you're not winning, you're doing something wrong.
You're doing something wrong. Whether it's your mindset, the way you're living, whatever it is. But if you dig deep enough and work hard enough and believe you can, you could do anything. Whether it's riding bucking horses, being on the SEAL Team 6, whether it's being the best cameraman in the world, it's possible if you're willing to put in the effort and go. And it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna suck at times, but I
And in
promise.
your Bronc rides, when you're starting Bronc rides, there's, instead of making an excuse on why you didn't ride good, find a positive in your ride. Say, I did this good, but I should work on this, and you'll find a lot of comfort in picking apart the good things you did instead of just saying I rode good the whole time and it all
Do
went.
not bring those negatives out of that arena. You leave those negatives in that arena.
Yeah.
If you find your fault, it's good to acknowledge your fault. Acknowledge it, think about it, correct it, leave it in that arena.
Yeah.
Don't bring it out that gate. Bring every positive thing you can. Don't leave that negative shit in there.
Absolutely.
Called short 5 mile rule.
Yeah,
Think about it, talk about it, 5 miles, and if it ain't going your way, rock on, visualize, do whatever it takes to get better. When you lay your head on that pillow that night, as long as you know you did something that day to better yourself than whatever else the other Bronc Riders are doing out there, you'll wake up satisfied and you'll win.
All